There's a soup for every season, and this soup that we're making today will take you from the spring right into the summer. Italians that live in blue zones are not living to 100 eating pizza and pasta every day, maybe once in a while. But they're eating soups like this, and this soup is a home-style meal. It's healthy, it's nutritious, it has a lot of vegetables, and it tastes great. So let's put it together. So the first thing is vegetables, and this soup is really all about vegetables. And I said that this soup would take you from the spring right into the summer. So the main vegetables that we're using today are zucchini and asparagus. And then our base vegetables of the soup are potatoes, carrots, celery, tomato, garlic, parsley stems, and tomatoes. Now that's the base of this soup, and then our main vegetables, the asparagus and zucchini, are the special vegetables. Now during the season, as the season changes in the spring and summer, when different vegetables come into season, you could modify this recipe by keeping the base and then adjusting the main vegetables. And for herbs, I have parsley, and today in the soup we're using rice. So the first thing we're going to do is saute the onion, garlic, and parsley stems in a generous amount of olive oil. And this is really the flavor base of this soup. The onion, the garlic, and the parsley stem is going to flavor the oil and really carry its way throughout the whole soup. And people always laugh about the parsley stems, but they add a lot of flavor, so definitely don't skip them. You know, you're going to chop the parsley up to finish the soup. Why not throw some stems in here, give it some flavor? So once these onions and garlic start to soften up, we'll add in the tomatoes. And for the tomatoes, I left a couple of them whole in here because I want them to keep their shape throughout the whole cooking process. And the others I cut in half, which they're really going to fall apart into the broth and really flavor the soup. At this point, we'll add in all the vegetables. And we have a lot of vegetables here because this really is a spring vegetable soup. So we'll add them all in, and we're going to saute them for a few minutes just to pick up some flavor from the pan, from the tomatoes, the onions, the garlic, the oil. Allow everybody to become friends in here and really absorb all the flavor. So we'll saute this for a few minutes. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but a lot of times my grandmother would pick like the hottest day of the year to make soup. And it would be hot in the house, hot in the kitchen. We had like this sheet that blocked the air conditioning from getting out of the living room into the kitchen. So when you opened up that sheet and walked into the kitchen, it was hot. And then you'd have this hot soup. And, you know, I think when I was younger, I was always like, soup, you know, but now I really appreciate it. And I know why she made it, because it's really good. So at this point, we're gonna add in some salt and pepper. We'll season these up. So the vegetables picked up some nice flavor from the pan. Now we're gonna add in some boiling water. And we're gonna let this cook for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, the vegetables should be cooked, and then we'll add in some rice. We're using just water in here, no broth, no vegetable broth, because we have a lot of vegetables in here. So we're really creating a natural vegetable broth. So there's no need to add in any extra vegetable broth bouillons. The only thing this could use is a little salt. My grandmother always cooked meals that were saltless, and this was one of them. So you could either add a little more salt now or at the end. But we're gonna let this cook for about 15-20 minutes. So we're about to add in the rice, but before we do, I wanna remove the parsley stems. So you kinda have to go fishing in here to find them. And you could leave them in, definitely be rustic, but aesthetically, we're gonna take them out. All right, so I think we got them all out. Now we're gonna add in the rice. And for rice, I have carnaroli rice, but I mean, you could use really any rice you have in your cabinet. Any rice works. I have 2 cups of rice in here. And just for reference, this pot is a 6-quart stock pot, or 6 liters, depending on which side of the metric system you're on. So we have a 6-quart stock pot, and we're adding in 2 cups of rice. So the rice takes about 15 minutes to cook. And just before it's ready, about 4 or 5 minutes before it's ready, we'll add in the asparagus tips. So pretty much the soup's ready, the rice is cooked, the asparagus is cooked. So what we're gonna do now is just gonna turn off the heat, and we're gonna finish it off with some parsley. And if you look in here, you really see all the flavors from the garden, all the vegetables. I mean, this is like a really bright soup, as opposed to a lot of the soups that you see in the winter. This one's a really bright and refreshing soup that is perfect for this time of the year and even the summer. So let's get this in a bowl and I'll show you what it looks like. And what I really like about this soup is, like, a lot of times we go food shopping on Sundays and we'll buy a lot of vegetables, and by Thursday you realize we haven't eaten any of the vegetables. This is a great soup to make on Thursday. Just take all the vegetables that you were hopeful of eating during the week and make this soup. So good. And what I love about this soup is really the simplicity. The broth doesn't look like it has a lot of flavor, but it really sucks up all the flavor from the vegetables, the fresh vegetables. You taste the asparagus, you taste the zucchini, the carrot, the tomato. You literally, everything comes through in the broth. And that's really what the broth is all about. And this is just like I remember growing up. And the best part about making this soup is dipping some bread in it. I think that the dunkability factor of bread is really high for this. You definitely need some bread if you're gonna make this soup. That's the best part. And a lot of times people think they need to go to an Italian specialty store to make Italian food and spend like hundreds of dollars on ingredients. But the reality is Italian food is simple. It's fresh ingredients prepared in simple ways. And I think this soup really proves it. And if you like it, I have another soup linked right here, a lentil soup. That one's really good. And if you like my soups, let me know how you like them in the comments. Don't forget to hit the bell, like, and subscribe.